What is going on, my friends? I'm headed to my friend Max's house. It's his first time riding a motorcycle in what seems to be many months. Max had two really bad accidents back to back in the same week. He's been out of commission, his bikes have been out of commission, and it's been a very long time. So I'm going to be working with Max today to get him back on his feet, to make him feel comfortable, not only physically but also psychologically. I think most of it is going to be psychological, because after going through two accidents, you know, you have these insecurities and you also have these doubts that are going to be preventing you from riding safely in the future. So I'm going to see if I can work with Max today, not only on building his skill set, but also working on his mind game. So this way, he can go past this and become a better rider in the future. Max has got a sweet R3, and it's a bike I like. I suggested Max buy one of those, and I'm glad he bought it. That's the perfect bike to get to learn how to ride a motorcycle. What's up?
It's nice.
Oh, that's the new one. There they is. All right, let's pull it out and go from there. Have you at all ridden the bike since the accidents? So this would be your first time ever?
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess it would be more appropriate for me to talk to you now about it. Nice, the sun's coming out. Alright, so here's the good news, right? The good news is that you haven't forgotten how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Riding a motorcycle is not going to be something that you're going to have to learn how to ride from scratch. You already know those things.
Yep.
A lot of this is mental. I would say 70% of it is going to be mental for you, and the other 30 is going to be skill, because you already know the skills, you just haven't practiced them.
Exactly.
Right? So it's a 70-30 combination. So the first time you're going to get on the bike, it's going to be familiar yet unfamiliar, right? So in this type of situation, just keep in mind one thing. You already know everything I'm telling you, because we already talked about this the first time I taught you how to ride a motorcycle, but I'm just going to have to reiterate everything. So if it sounds like I'm telling you all over again, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because you're starting from scratch. Pretend you don't know anything in your mind. Pretend this is the first time you're starting to learn how to ride a motorcycle. You know nothing about it. If I say something to you that you're familiar with already, don't disregard it like, oh, I know that already. Just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Because it's repetition, and repetition will help you develop habits, right?
Exactly, yep.
I'll give you an example. In New York, when I lived in New York for 2 years, I practiced Kung Fu. Now in Kung Fu, they make you do a specific type of punch probably 5,000 or 6,000 times. Like, you know, throwing a punch. Right? I still remember how to do it. Even if I'm 100 years old, because I practiced it 5,000 times, I know how to throw punches. Right? I know how to throw punches. Right? So the same thing applies to motorcycles. The more repetition you have, the more it's going to get ingrained in your system. So the first thing that we're going to start off with is you hopping on the motorcycle. All right, so when you're getting on a motorcycle, everything that applies to a car also applies to a motorcycle. But one thing that is more important in a motorcycle than it is in a car, because where you look depends on where you go, is your vision. Is the parking lot to the right? Okay, so as you turn the motorcycle on and as you pop the clutch and you start rolling, your vision is going to dictate where you're going to end up going. So as you start rolling, you're going to start off in the middle, and then at this point, stop right here, look left, look right. If there's nothing coming, you're going to look to the stop sign, right where the stop sign is, and then you're going to carry on, because that's the direction you want to go. So vision is number one. Stop right here. Left, right, nothing coming. All right. As you go, look at the stop sign. That's the direction we want to go. I'll follow you. It's a good place for him to learn how to ride once again. All right. So when you were going from there to here, how did you feel? Because the way you feel is going to affect your riding performance.
I didn't feel uncomfortable, which I think is good. I thought at first it was going to be like, you know, a little bit of like twitchiness and stuff like that, but I felt fairly smooth. Obviously, skills are going to build back up, and it's a little bit foreign to me right now, but I didn't feel uncomfortable, which is good.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just a little bit more like nerves right now, like you said.
Mostly psychological.
Yeah.
So that's gonna have a big impact on the way you ride. Let's connect the antennas, by the way,
Okay.
because I need to communicate with you. Here's what we're gonna do. The first thing is vision. Vision before everything else. What I want you to do is go around in circles, and as you go around, make the circles smaller and smaller. For every turn you do, the next one is going to be a little bit smaller, until you can get to a really tight turn. Okay? So you're going to go and do that in one circle, and then we're going to turn around and do the other side.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to prompt you to look at me, so this way, the direction that you're going, I'm going to be right there. And that'll train your vision.
Yeah.
Go this way first. Yep, there you go. So make a wide turn first. Yep, the way you are now. And keep looking at me. Your vision's going to be on me. Well, now your vision's going to be in the front. Now turn, and your vision goes back on me. Vision is on me. On me. There you go. And then once you pass me, your vision goes forward to where you want to go. Okay? Now your vision goes to the left, on the tree, onto the left. There you go, perfect. Your vision goes straight. Now your vision's on me. All the way to the left, all the way to the left. All the way, exactly. Perfect. Pass me, you look straight. Look at the tree to the left. Look at me. Look how handsome I am. Now to make the circle smaller and smaller. Increase the speed a little bit. Just a little bit, not like you're racing or anything like that. Now, I want you to keep your vision on me the entire time as I'm going to turn around to you, okay? Keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. Exactly. Keep looking at me. That's creepy, bro, but keep looking at me. God, stop staring at me. I'm getting dizzy. I'm just going to stand here because I'm getting dizzy. Make the circle smaller and smaller as you can. As comfortable as you can be. As comfortable as you can be. Are you in first gear or second? Okay. Make the turn a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller and keep looking at me. Go back to where the bike is as a starting point. Turn around. Exactly. Alright. So now here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a quick turn and go back this way. So the way you do that is all the way, right? Looking at me, giving it gas, whoop, this way, and then going around. Look at me, give it gas, let's go. So tell me what you did wrong right there.
I let out the clutch too quick.
Okay, but you also look down.
Yeah.
Never look down. Because as soon as your bike stalls and you look down and your handlebars turn, tell me what's going to happen.
You're going to go down.
You're going to go down. Never, ever, ever look down.
Okay.
All right. Boom. A little bit more speed. Carry more speed with you. No one learns anything by going slow. All eyes on me. Now look straight. Now look to the bushes to the right. Now look at me. Now look straight to that wall. Now look to my bike. Now make your turn smaller and smaller. And increase the speed a little bit. Now keep looking at me. Increase your speed a little bit. Give it more lean now. I'm going to stand here because I'm going to get dizzy. Alright, that's good. Now follow me back to the bike. Alright, how do you feel?
Feel good. Feel better than I thought I would.
Okay, so you feel better?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like you know, it's like you say, like riding a bike, just like getting those motions in, and yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, when I first started, how like hesitant I was and how I was losing balance, but I feel like I'm able to keep my shoulders loose, and you know, I feel balanced, so I think that's good.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up the shoulders loose and the balance,
Yeah,
because how you hold the bike can also affect it.
yeah,
So I want you to go around in circles, but make it smaller and smaller very quickly. But this time, be very aware of your body position, as well as how you're holding the handlebars, how hard you're holding the handlebars, how much you're gripping, how hard you're gripping. Make sure you're very loose, and make sure that you're very comfortable. And if you're making a turn, give it a little bit lean. It doesn't have to be overextended. It doesn't have to be, I don't know, like you're going on a canyon or anything like that. But just lean a little bit more than you did before, and then we'll come back and see how you feel. Wait. All the way. Look at me, and then come around like this. There you go. So be very aware, okay? Be aware of your body. Be aware of how tight you're holding it. Smaller and smaller. Just don't hit me. That's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. So what I want you to do is keep it in between the box, okay? Keep it in between the box. Look at me, because you're looking straight. Always look at me. If you're making circles, look in the center. Wherever you look, that's where the bike goes. And you'll be smoother that way too, because if your vision is shifting left and right, your handlebars will shift left and right as well. But if you're looking at one place, your handlebars are going to stay in one place. They'll just adjust it to be in the center where I am. All right, so what I want you to do is go the opposite direction now. Just continue doing what you're doing, but go the opposite direction. Make a U-turn right here. And you may need to switch your body position to a different way. Or keep it that way. It doesn't matter. Bro, it's so creepy you staring at me like that. Yeah. Stop staring at me, man. This crazy person over here. I did ask for this. You're right. Make yourself a little round circle and stick within it. And scoot your butt a little bit to the left. A little bit to the left. Yep. And now it'll allow you to have a little bit more lean angle. So one thing I noticed the entire time is that you didn't have your hand on the brakes at all. When you're riding a motorcycle, your hand is always going to be on the brakes, no matter what. Even if you're going 5 miles an hour or when you're going 100 miles an hour, your hand is always going to be on the brake. So let me tell you a little bit about how you're going to hold the brake. If you're doing 100 miles an hour on the highway, in that type of situation, it's okay if you hold it like this. But even at that point, I don't recommend it, because this will give the brake pressure a lot more force than this would. If you look at the MotoGP guys, they're either holding the brake with one finger or they're holding it with two fingers. It's never like this. They're coming from 200 miles an hour and they want to brake. They're never going to give it this much brake. They're always going to give it this much brake or this much in the turns. So pick and choose how many fingers you want to hold the brake lever with. My suggestion is constantly having your fingers, your two fingers, on the brake while you're rolling. And if you're going fast, it's going to be two fingers. If you're going to go slow, it's always going to be one finger. So what I want you to do now is a brake test. Okay, so we're going to work on your braking. And you're going to stop right over here. Let me see if I can build a little invisible wall. Unless I can find a stick somewhere. Yeah, you'll burn it off. Okay, so this is going to be a little invisible wall right here. Alright, so you got from here to run off. So what I want you to do is I want you to go really fast and then first use two fingers. Okay, actually just because we're practicing, I want you to use your full hand, and I want you to see how much brake pressure you have with the full hand. And then after that I want you to do two, and then after that we're going to do a single. Okay, so let's start off by going real fast. I don't want you to stop here. I want you to hit on the brakes and end up right over here or just a little bit before that. Okay? Because potentially that could be a car, that could be a child, a person, a stop sign, whatever.
Right.
So we're simulating here. Yeah, do the whole thing. Yeah, but you stop too fast. Your brakes are really good. Don't worry about the brakes. I know before you mentioned something about rust. You got all these things in your mind that's making you think your bike has less performance than it actually does. So forget about what you know. Let the bike do all the thinking for you. Okay, you're fine the way you are. Just do the best you can. Don't predict your bike's performance because you don't know what it is. So I want you to punch it and then pull the brake like right over here, right over here. Okay, so whoever it was you hit. Okay, so you hit the car, you hit the stop sign, whatever it was.
You wanted me to stop. I got it.
Yeah, so stop at or before that, okay? And if you hit it, that means you hit the person or the car or whatever it is, okay? And whenever you're pushing the brakes, don't do this because that's what I heard, okay?
Yeah.
You gave it gas. All right, give it another go. When it comes to riding a motorcycle, braking and vision are two of the most important things, and that's what I'm teaching them right now. Too soon. Okay, so now there's a lot of braking pressure whenever you're using the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want you to switch it to 2. All right, let me demonstrate for you. All right, let's see if I can do it or I'm going to embarrass myself. Got it? That's what I want you to do. All right, don't worry about the bike. It's got more performance than you think it does. It's all in your mind. If you don't think the bike can do it, it's all in your mind. Look to the left, turn the wheel, go. Now, I think it's time that you apply everything that we did. So what I want you to do is going in circles, making it smaller and smaller until you get a small circle, and then doing figure 8s, maybe 2-3 times. And then after the figure 8, you're going to use the brakes. And then you're going to repeat that maybe 4 or 5 times.
All right.
Alright, so go all the way to the end now. After you finish whatever you were doing. Yeah, whatever you're doing, and then come down and do a full stop. So far, Max has learned vision, which is the most important thing. Too soon. Yeah, too early. Way too early. So he learned vision. He learned brakes using 1 and 2 fingers. Much better. I told him to put 2 fingers on the brakes at all times. And then after that, look where you're going. I told him how to make I showed him how to make a quick U-turn. And now he's doing figure 8s. And he's stopping on a dime. He's a rock star. You know what you just did, right? You looked down and you were about to fall over. Yep, so don't do that again. Complete the sentence. Wherever you look, you go. Exactly. Wherever you look, that's where you end up. So look where you want to go. Look where you want to end up. Same thing applies to life, boys and girls. If you keep thinking about the past, and if the past was a horrible situation, you'll continue to have more horrible situations. But if you look to a brighter future and you have goals and dreams, you end up accomplishing those goals and dreams. And motorcycle riding and achieving your goals are very, very similar. Look where you want to go. Think about where you want to go. Much better. Good job. All right, after this one, do your brake test. 2 fingers are always on the brakes, right? Okay. All right. Keep coming, keep coming, stop now. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. So I put these, what are these things called? Acorns? I don't even know what they're called. They're called things that hurt if you step on them without shoes. Alright, so anyways, you're very close to it, which is what I like. So the simulation is, this is a person, it's a car, it's a stop sign, it's a child. It comes right in front of you and you need to brake very quickly, right? So you learn how to use it with all of your hands, which is a lot of pressure. Never, ever, ever in a million years use a full hand. It's either 2 fingers, the way she likes it, or 1. Okay? Alright. She prefers 2, so you always use 2. Use 1 whenever in different situations, okay? Alright, cool. Now we're going to get on the road, right? But when you're getting on the road, whatever I taught you applies, but it's going to be completely different because now you have real hazards. Like you didn't have any obstructions here. There weren't stop signs, there weren't cars coming towards you, children, people, whatever, red lights. What did I mention to you that you're going to be doing all the time, every time, whenever you're riding at intersections? What do?
Look both ways.
Look left and right.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to have to ingrain that inside of your genes in your cells. So when you have kids, they grow up, they're born knowing this stuff by nature.
Yeah.
You're gonna repeat it so many times. There's gonna be a lot of repetition. You're gonna continue to look left and right. Okay. One problem that everybody gets whenever they're riding a motorcycle is that they get too comfortable. And when you get too comfortable, you get cocky. So build repetition from the start. Remember I told you in the beginning, the habits that you create early on will stay with you.
Yeah.
If you create bad habits in the beginning, they're going to continue for as long as you ride a motorcycle. And the motorcycle accident that you got in, those 2 motorcycle accidents, they're going to continue to repeat themselves unless you don't repeat those mistakes, right? Now that you're starting brand new, the best thing to do is when you're on the road, left and right at all intersections, regardless if you're going 5 miles an hour, 10 or 100. Not when you get to it, hopefully.
Right before, yeah.
Right before it. I would say like right where this bush,
Coming down this way.
right before where that bush is. You see where that bush is?
Yeah.
You're going to start looking when you get there.
Yep.
And then you're going to stop and you're going to continue looking left and right, maybe once or twice, right?
Yep.
After a while it becomes automatic. After a while you get used to it. After a while you start doing it naturally, right? But you never, ever, ever want to go without looking left and right, right?
Yep.
Other than that, you're going to look at your mirrors every 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You're always going to look in your back mirrors. Never trust your mirrors 100%. You're always going to look over your shoulders, right? When you're making a turn, always look over your shoulders. If it's just one lane, probably you don't have to do that. But if you're in multiple lanes, always look over your shoulder whenever you're turning. And I think that's pretty much it, right? Any questions? You're good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get going.